This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
It's been a minute, man. The illness
We
has been
back.
good to us. It's been messing us up, but we're gonna get started right. I gotta get the vibes set. I gotta get the moods together because we you know.
What nonsense are you about to put me through for
I'm just
way
saying.
too long this time?
It's not gonna be way too long, but we just gotta get right. That's all. So let's understand what we here for. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little disappointed we didn't record last week, mostly because of me. But
You were dying.
I gotta get us back into the zone.
He was literally dying.
But what was all I was talking about was the podcast.
All right, let's go.
See those people?
Yeah.
Well, those boobs and jerkwads are the best friends you'll ever have. Without them, you're nothing. Remember that.
Let's take it back to Prickly Muffin.
Your family will never understand you. Your lovers will leave you or try to change you. But your fans, you be good to them, and they'll be good to you.
We are rolling. Sound speed.
The most important thing is you gotta give the people what they want. Even if it kills you. Even if it empties you out until there's nothing left to empty. No matter what happens, no matter how much it hurts, you don't stop dancing, and you don't stop smiling, and you give those people what they want.
And act.
Hey, I think we good. We in a good space now.
Yeah.
You agree?
Mm-hmm.
That was a straight little way to start us.
Yeah, we were. That was good.
Okay. I just want to make sure, I want to make sure we're doing our thing. All right, so now, you are now listening to Talk FNF TV.
You're what the fuck is good?
Jeez, baby, first 5 minutes.
Okay, let's restart.
No, we good. All right, it's Talk FNF TV with your host, Rhetoric, and I'm with my lovely and amazing and just dynamic co-host, Miss Fair.
I'm here. What's up? Hi guys. Hi guys. Wait, look at my nails.
Uh-oh, get 'em.
Ew. Okay.
Shout out to your nail tech.
Yeah. Shout out to Buckhead Nail Shop.
Mm,
Period. I don't know her name.
that's cool. She just appreciate the love. She just appreciate the love, if we being honest. All right, man. So it's been an interesting few weeks for us. Like I said, we've been recovering from sickness and things of that nature. And I just apologize for not being strong enough, not being strong-willed enough.
You have nothing to do with your immune system.
And but the thing is what I care about. It goes back to that BoJack, line that I put out there. Like, this is what it's about. It's about the fans. It's about the content, and it's about the fucking commitment. So
yeah, if I don't feel good, fuck y'all. Genuinely, I'm gonna choose me every time. He's not. I will.
I didn't want to choose me, but I just
I'ma
felt
choose me.
like I couldn't give y'all an
fuck
adequate
y'all
product.
specifically. Every single one of y'all. No, I'm kidding. I love you guys.
All right, so let's get to it. There's a lot of stuff to start with, but it's been some stuff that's started.
Turmoil in the household.
I was gonna start
Turmoil.
there. I was gonna start that. There's a little turmoil.
There's fuckery afoot.
It's been a lot of disputes been going on here. It feels like love don't live here no more.
My husband is gay.
How you gonna be on the ally?
So you doing the bending?
All right, relax, Jada. All right, we talked about this. That's one thing we not finna be doing.
Like,
is putting none of this into question. So if we're wondering why she's putting such atrocities on my name, it's because I have committed to the month of November as
we're not married anymore.
No Nut November. Yes, we.
This is us announcing that we're getting a divorce.
That's a lie. And she's just taking this as, kind of tough. I understand. But I just feel like this is going to make us stronger in the long run. Like,
insert the Jason Love clip.
Of who? Jason Love who?
No, me talk about him.
No.
Bring Jason Love to the forefront.
We are not talking about that right now.
That's my nigga this month.
You can, like I said, I'm not making you participate in the no nut part of it. It's just.
No, I'm nutting anytime I want.
Okay, that's your business. I'm just saying.
The fuck?
With me personally,
it's blasphemy.
I'm going to refrain.
You sound ridiculous.
I think it's
you sound stupid.
It's about discipline. It's about discipline, about will. about.
It's about
just personal
pleasuring your
strength.
wife.
I'm just saying that doesn't necessarily.
Put your mouth on my private parts.
Gee, oh my goodness! You know we're in the first 10 minutes, right?
Well, you should have put this topic a little bit later.
I mean, I just didn't think he was going to get so vulgar with it. I wasn't expecting.
You know, I feel strong, and then I said private parts.
I mean, again, you were being discreet, but still, I mean, still a lot. It's still excessive. All I'm saying is this: it's a good way for any man, no matter what their status is, to kind of just be able to withstand for a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that.
Baby.
No, I'm not. I'm being a grown man. And that's what I'm actually showing you and trying to be an example of discipline for you.
Grown men are dipping in puss.
We're going to get into what real niggas is out here doing. But
real niggas is out here dipping and diving.
I just want, all the men out there just to, help give me strength in regards to just your thoughts and things of that nature. Like,
Not you reaching out to men.
I just want the male
Ew.
community
My husband is
me
gay.
and understand
And
discipline.
this is where this ends. It starts with my husband is gay and it ends with my husband is gay. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm kidding. He's not gay.
Like I said, Jada, you need to relax on that. That's one thing you need to always be 100% on my side on.
Ally.
No. No, they're going to start thinking my beard or something. No. Keep it straight now. Make sure you know what's going on over here.
Yeah, let them know that I'm not your beard.
I'm letting them know, but I'm explaining to why what's going on.
Me tonight.
And just saying why if we seem to be having some disarray,
lay the pipe down.
it's because Miss Fair over here.
And then you acted like I'm
restless.
I'm a calm down. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it serves for good content. But I just want us to understand if you see her being, a little bit more vile, with a little more vitriol than she normally brings, it's because she maybe feels
dickless.
You should feel that, bro. So, all right. So we got to get into this. A lot of these topics, a lot of interesting stuff's going on. I know we missed a lot, but we might touch on those in the second hour.
Yes. What else is going on other than my husband being a homosexual? A homosexual.
You're disrespectful, yo.
And I'm gonna be that.
Respect my discipline. All right.
I'm gonna be that way because that's what I am.
We gotta talk about my man Joe Budden, man. It's been I'm hurt a little bit because my boy got attacked in the club. I don't like that. My boy got
anybody who attacks Joe Budden. I feel you, my nigga. I don't blame you.
So that's
a very punchable face.
The word on the
His
street.
head is shiny.
So the word on the street is he was involved in an altercation at a local strip club. Obviously, that is his safe haven is the strip club.
That is his second home.
That's where he gets busy. That's where everything goes down for him at.
Yep.
And he was attacked at home base. Somebody went to his.
He wasn't with his girlfriend?
Nah, I think he was with some.
She could definitely take a bullet for him and not even feel it. Them titties, them shits, them knockers is crazy.
No, I think he was just with some female friends out. I think he even brought them on for
Joe
the
Budden
Patreon.
doesn't have female friends. If you're a female friend of Joe Budden, you don't like women.
I think he had some female friends on. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But so what we got to kind of backtrack a little bit because there's been a lot of other stuff that's been going on. So first started was Caesar's brother tried him outside of a little spot.
Oh yeah,
there.
I saw that. Yeah.
So he had a little altercation there. He spoke about that on his podcast or whatever. Then coming up that next weekend is when you hear about something happened to him in the club. He got touched. And then he comes onto the podcast. He has this episode that drops today, and he got a cast on his hand.
Ooh, so he got fucked up. He didn't just get touched.
He got, according to the dude who first dropped it, I forgot the dude's name. Sorry about that. The dude who first dropped it, he basically said they put them paws on Joe. They jumped him. They came out, and it pretty much, as soon as he put up on bruh, popped him. And it was for allegedly Taxstone, who's in jail right now. Taxstone is the New York podcaster who is now being sentenced, I think, 35 years for his involvement at the what was it, Plaza? You don't remember? You were in New York when this happened.
What year was it?
2016.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
I forgot where it happened, but basically, he was involved in what became somebody's life loss, and him and Joe have been at odds for quite some time. And Joe invited him to his dick, invited him to the Frank stand. But Joe also invited Caesar's whole family to the Frank stand, which was insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
That was so nuts. Hey, Joe, Joe, you 40, you over 40 years old. You 42 years old, bro. 43. Like, you can't be, I ain't gonna say you can't do it anymore, bro. I respect it. No, I ain't gonna lie to you. I respect it, bro. My nigga going out here and he telling everybody who he don't fuck with, fuck you. And that's what come with this game. When you going into these podcast streets, that's what come with it.
When you say he invited him to the Frank stand, he said, suck my dick.
Yeah, he told you and your whole entire family to suck my dick.
As a New Jersey nigga, like, that's not even something
no,
that
when
you think
on,
about.
But that's different when you go onto a whole podcast that you talk to millions of viewers. Everybody you know in the tri-state area is pretty much listening to this if they're involved in this culture.
Regardless of that.
And you telling this nigga
as
this
a
whole
New York,
family.
New Jersey, the whole family is crazy. But
That nigga got a
generally
wife.
telling somebody to suck your dick as a tri-state area motherfucker,
I understand that.
that's literally a
But-
period. That's breathing.
Yeah, but you usually do that to
You
a
suck my
nigga
dick.
right
I
in
ain't
front of
gonna
you.
suck my
You
dick.
you ain't doing it to the
You can suck my
nigga.
dick.
You're not gonna do it to the man.
Your
if-
mom can suck my dick. Your uncle can suck my dick. Everybody can suck. Your whole family can suck my dick. Is that what he said? Your whole family can suck my
Yeah,
dick?
he said your whole family
Yeah.
can suck my dick.
Very, very mild.
I'm not saying that it's not. I agree. I'm not saying that it's not mild. I'm just saying it's insane to not think that some extra stuff coming with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially when you said it and millions of people heard that.
But apparently he's also saying that this was the second time Tax Stone sent somebody at him. So Joe, you just gotta be careful out here, bro. You too old to be.
Oh,
tussling.
so the person who put his hands on him and left him in a cast was sent by this man in jail?
Yeah, Tax Stone allegedly.
What type of nigga is this?
Podcast nigga, but it's nigga in the streets.
That's crazy.
But so we'll see what more that develops.
If you are out as a free man doing a podcast nigga who's locked up for the rest in his life's bidding, that's crazy. You're pathetic. Get a hobby.
I will say this though, niggas be getting money in prison, so it's like you could be paying niggas to do shit just like you would in the free world.
You would know.
I mean, yeah, I would.
Not that he's a criminal. He was on the other side, correctional officer, police.
So you can.
Police.
That's hate. You supposed to be on my side. That's hate. So, but no, we'll see how more of this develops. Like I said, I don't want Joe to be getting touched, but when you out here and you live in this life of expressing your opinion and going at niggas' head, that's what it's a part about. There ain't no friends in this business. You know, you got to make sure you understand that. You going at people who is different walks of life, and you expressing yourself, and you keeping it real to who you are, that's what's gonna come with it. And niggas is gonna hate, niggas gonna down talk and all this other shit. But when you really come at their ass, when it's their turn, they gonna feel it and they gonna remember it. So that's why a nigga like me, like, I don't even move outside if it ain't at least 1 to 2 people punching on my direction. Like, I'm not even really trying to go out into the mix like that, to be seen and be out and be in the mix in regards to that, because you know what it come with. Like, you gotta have your folks with you, and you going out being, you know, with just the women, that the women ain't fighting back with you more often than not.
I
Just
mean,
keeping
I'm
it a
not.
beam.
I'm calling the police.
They not throwing no hands.
I'm calling the police, and you're going to jail, bitch.
But there's been a lot still
You're
going
getting
on.
locked up.
There's still
You're
been
going to jail. You're getting. You do the crime, you're gonna do the time, bitch. I'm calling the police.
But no, there's been a lot more still going on. Joe's steady been in the headlines. So there's also been, he went on Savon's podcast. So I don't know if you're familiar with Savon the Don.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Savon. I went to school with him.
Oh, shit. So, okay.
Okay. I talked to his brother.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm familiar with Savon.
That is disappointing.
And his brother Narkim. So, yeah, we went to Brentwood High School like all 4 years together. Savon was like super popular, and I was not at all. So we didn't run in the same circles whatsoever. And he probably didn't know of me at all because I was like super quiet.
Well, the Don has been getting out of pocket.
Okay, period. What's he been doing?
So he's basically been going, I'm going to say this. he has been, for the small time creators, he has been showing that he is a son of Budden. Like the way he's been moving, like just the kind of conversations and his counterpoints have all been Budden-esque.
I don't consume any of his content at all. So what's been going on?
Joe went on there for an interview on the Need to Know podcast. He went in on an interview and they talked more about the breakup. So Savon, to his credit, I feel as though he kept it 100. He was like, "Hey, I was feeling overworked and overpaid,
underpaid, probably.
yeah, overworked and underpaid. Excuse me.
Because if he was overpaid, he would have stayed.
Yeah, he would have been tripping. But he was like, I was feeling overworked and underpaid. He expressed that to Joe,
which I understand.
But then there were some other things that were said, and there were some other conversations that were made light of, and one being Screen Man, who's Alex. Mm-hmm. He used to also work there.
That was Savon's friend also that he brought in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Screen Man, Alex, said to one point where he was like, "Oh, Mal was bringing this to our attention, talking about what was going on, the flow of the production, the flow of work or whatever."
Why would you?
And that's what he said.
Take Mal's opinion into consideration when it comes to flow of production or anything.
Well, what he was saying was he was confused on why Mal was even bringing this to him. He was basically framing it like Mal and Rory came to them with these things and were putting that energy out.
So they could get them on their side. Yeah. So everyone could just up and leave.
Yeah. That was the big viral thing that kind of was taken from it. Because
was Savon's sentiment like, I regret leaving? Okay.
No, it was nothing like that.
Okay.
His thing was he grew, he got to his point, and now he's able to grow his stuff. And, that wasn't really bad. It was the fact that what Scream Man said, because that is what sparked what was going on with Rory and Mal, because Rory and Mal finally made a power move. Rory and Mal finally did something that I felt like if you're going to be part of this, that they should have been doing to capitalize. They put it on a paywall, and they put a Patreon out where they basically reacted to that interview. They called Scream Man a liar.
Okay.
They said Scream Man tried to paint it in a way like Mal said that he was overworked and underpaid to him. Mal said, "I've never been that. I've never said those words to people. That's never been in my vocabulary."
It's a little too late, though, don't you think, for them to have the smoke now?
No, it's never too late for smoke. Like, that's one thing about a fire. It's always, you can always light it whenever.
Okay.
And it's going to get, if it's a good fire, it's going to catch.
I think it's a little, content wise, yes, but.
Well, let's talk about that portion then. Rory and Mal handled the breakup horribly.
Yeah.
They did not capitalize on it in a real way because they tried to play the I'm too cool role.
Because Mal is involved. Yeah. If Mal is involved in anything, then he's gonna take the I'm cool role over the capitalization and the marketing and all of that.
It's hard to deal with niggas with weird principles.
He has street real nigga principles that don't apply to real life at all. They don't apply anywhere outside of the fucking hood.
If you know this nigga is going to fucking sit in front of on a screen by himself with empty chairs, you know this is the nigga who's capable, what he's capable of. You got to go on the attack. You can't sit back and just let him paint a picture and a narrative, let all of this content and all of this misinformation go out and not capitalize on it.
Yeah.
That should have been the first thing they ever dropped, was a series that went over the phases, which Savon kind of discussed the different phases of the podcast. Since Rory basically been there since day one, they should have just capitalized, got a whole Patreon series, then put it out, then do the interviews other places, kick Joe's back in. But they didn't do it. I don't understand. When you're in this space, you got to capitalize on what you can capitalize on.
I feel like they probably didn't want to garner their audience based off that. But regardless of if y'all did that or not, people are going to say that y'all got y'all audience because of y'all affiliation with Joe. So you might as well be a little shady, be a little messy, and spill the tea.
My problem too is not going crazy with it is why it lasts for 3 years the way it is now.
I'm bored.
I mean, some people are. I think we are getting little spicy interactions back and forth. I'm not against breaking up the brick. Sometimes you got to do that as well. It's like, hey, we can't just throw out the whole grenade. Let's just throw little shots here and there.
My ADHD brain, when you break up the brick, I'm done.
Well, I mean,
I done lost attention by the first break of the brick. I'm gone.
Cool. Some people only get one piece of the brick. Some people come back for
Yeah.
seconds. But I feel as though with the way they did it, they tried to break the brick up in such a tiny way. And honestly, this is the thing. The sad part about it is it's such a simple fix and it's such a easy crux because at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of grown men who really didn't trust each other and didn't respect each other. Joe didn't respect them the same way Spotify didn't respect Joe. And that's all it really comes down to.
I don't think Joe
wanted
anybody.
Joe wanted the information. I mean, he said that to a certain effect. Joe wanted the information from Spotify. They told him, "Hey, no, your talent. You have only this much. What we're going to provide."
Mm-hmm.
He got pissed. That's why if you listen to what he ever talked about, that's why he left. It wasn't because of the money. It was because he wanted to be respected as an executive and not talent. And they didn't give him that.
Do you think that Joe has worked enough to do that? To be?
I don't think the executives are going to look at you like that.
Yeah.
Because
I
when
don't
you're-
think so either.
What they see it as when your talent is your talent. I'm an executive because I'm an executive.
I think if
And
Joe
it may not always transition like that, but that's how they look at it.
I think if Joe had taken a step back and like maybe if from the jump he did this podcast, he was on the podcast for a couple years and then took a step back, let whoever he was producing become whoever they were, like, but take the position that he has, right? If he curated this and then started the Joe Budden Network, added a bunch of people that started successful podcasts and brought a whole network of successful podcasts to Spotify without him being the star, it would have looked different. He would have looked like more of an executive. But if you want to be in front of the cameras, then I don't think you're going to get that same respect. I think you get more respect if you're behind the scenes than if you're in front of the cameras when it comes to that.
Yeah, and it just depends, too, because also when you're a black man, they're going to, treat you a particular kind of way.
That's a whole nother
well.
bag of worms, can of worms.
So it's not that I don't think that he can't be. I think, honestly, my opinion of it is that he played everything perfect because at the end of the day, he took with them the most important thing that they could give him at that time, and what it was marketing and notoriety. Like the fact that he could go to a place in a location, get Complex to push him, get his narratives out there, and grab a fan base from their, what they're spending money for people to see, and then bring it back to his podcast, which he's always had as a home base, curated that fan base, and then now he's selling with the Patreon a more exclusive and more intimate view of the life that he's already kind of given to people. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where he wasn't wrong in that. But when it comes back to the breakup, the main thing that came to was people just wanted to see information. And Rory and Mal wanted to be a part of the information exchange. If Joe would have showed them the documents that he told them he couldn't for whatever legal reasons, they would have been cool. But Joe even said he didn't trust Rory. So it's like that was even in his words where he was like, I don't trust y'all that if I show this information and somebody finds out, I can get sued. So it just comes to a matter of nobody trust anyone. And then that's where you get to this location.
There needs
now,
to be a very specific leader and boss.
I mean, that's
and
where
I
he
feel
was.
like they probably had more of a washy, like the lines were blurred with like,
oh, for sure.
If there's one person who's a leader or if this is a collaboration, if this is a partnership.
Yeah.
And Rory and Mal probably felt like it was more of a collaboration. And Joe was like, no, this is the Joe fucking Budden podcast. And this is the Joe Budden Network. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all are employees.
It started with once the name change was one. But also, too, there's a lot of work.
It should have been that from the conception, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and this is going to actually kind of bleed into our next topic. But it also talks about what he's bringing in and what kind of capital they're bringing in and things of that nature. And like I said, let me just kind of wrap up with that, and I can get into this one. Savon the Don, I want to talk about why he is Budden-esque. Because when he responded to Rory Mal, he just dropped that one today. He basically kind of shitted on them for trying to say that they were minimizing. Jesus Christ!
There's always one word per episode that you like cannot say.
I couldn't get that shit out. But they were minimizing their work, and I like that angle that he
Shub's
took.
Gonna love that one again.
I love the angle that he took. because he's shooting at them like, oh, y'all not fucking with the small creators. Y'all trying to try us, trying to act like we thirsty for a moment when we out here doing the work. And he tried to flip the whole narrative. I'm not sure if it's going to be successful, but
I hope it is.
It was very Budden-esque.
Fuck.
I was looking at that. I was like, oh, Savon the Don is moving out of pocket right now.
Be manipulative and flip the narrative to your benefit.
Man, it was good. Like I said, that's the son of Budden right there. I could tell he was watching Budden put up reps. Like it was the way that he just formulated. It was like I said, it was Budden-esque. I respect it. I don't really watch Need to Know podcast, but I respect what you did right there, Savon. You legit. Like you was him with that.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of goes into, again, with the Rory and Mal, kind of go into this next conversation. So Brandon Marshall, are you familiar with Brandon Marshall is?
I have absolutely no idea who that man is.
So Brandon Marshall is a former wide receiver who ended up starting the I Am Athlete podcast. And he also went through a similar breakup recently. So he's been on kind of like a press run. And he's been shitting on his old co-host. And also he took some shots at Shannon Sharp, your boy. So
yeah, old ass bitch.
Oh damn! Come on, Shannon. Don't
Yeah,
do Shannon like that. Don't do Unc like that.
he's definitely Unc.
Yeah, but don't do Unc like that. But basically, what he's been saying, it's been interesting, the whole conversation. So to kind of go back to theirs, I want to break their.
He's the
their
uncle that
situation
you
down.
gotta explain consent to, but continue.
Oh my goodness! Don't do that on Shannon because he was Me Too. So don't do that. So what we got to do is go back. When we talk about Brandon Marshall and them, he started it with Fred Taylor, Shannon. What is his name? Channing. I can't think of his name. Channing.
It don't matter.
Channing. Yeah. It's Channing. And I think those were the two main guys that he started with. Ocho Cinco was in and out. He had a bunch of other guys where during the pandemic he started a podcast. So Brandon was already with FS1 doing the show, a sports show with them in the morning with Nick Wright.
Oh, so this is the nigga with the braids.
Yeah, well, he be having like the weird dread wicks type shit going on.
Yeah,
now.
whatever. He got hair.
Mm-hmm. So he's
okay, I know
been
who you're talking about now.
yeah. So he started this with them, but he was the main person bringing in early funding for capital, even to the point where he were paying guys day wages to come in and do shoots and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He offered guys to come in and it's like, hey, you can buy into the show and be part ownership, or you can be, somebody who just comes in, does talks, gets recorded, go home, and you don't got to worry about nothing else. So Channing, just like most niggas, he said on record, he took the check. He wanted a day check. I want to make sure I'm getting something in my pocket. Cool. That don't come with ownership. Fred Taylor said he wanted to be part of the ownership, but he wasn't forthcoming with the funds according to Brandon. So I guess we'll just ballpark it and say maybe he started at like anywhere between $50,000 to start off. Was like, hey, we get this $50,000, that'll get, from all of us. Boom. Now we moving forward. So Brandon Marshall, basically, he brings those guys in. He pays a day wage to Channing. Fred Taylor, he's iffy on if he's going to be giving him the money. He hasn't paid out yet. Boom. Okay. He moves forward with everything. He even says, hey, I'm moving this forward. I want this I Am Athlete brand to grow. Cool. Things start to progress. Fred Taylor and him still continue to have conversations, but now he's telling him, hey, man, like the price is going up now. The show has shown success. We're getting views. People are engaging with us, sharing our videos. Like the company that you were putting in isn't the same company back then. As y'all like to say in this world, yesterday's price wasn't today's price. And that's what Brandon kept it a G with. And that sparked a lot of different controversies amongst them and end up them breaking up and them starting Fred Taylor and also joining Brandon Clark, who's with ESPN. Him and Channing basically all came together and they made the pivot. So the inkling of what everything that's been going on with them started with this breakup. It was them going at odds with Brandon Marshall. They did a little quick episode, was their first episode, where they kind of brought that in and had that conversation, but they didn't go into much detail. But I don't like what's been going on with the Brandon Marshall discussion. I don't think it's been fair because at the end of the day, Brandon went to Fox, learned some information, a la Joe Budden with Complex and Spotify, and All he did was apply that to the business he was doing with his brothers. And I've noticed, like, when you do business with your fellow black men, it tends to have this issue and this problem with them, where they'll come in and when it comes to working for the white man, they'll put their name on paperwork, they'll get their W-2, W-9, whatever, and they okay with that. But now when you do business with your fellow brother and your fellow black man, and you're not bringing in the same type of ownership mentality to what's going on, and that means owners put their names on checks.
That's the Popeyes effect.
Owners spend shit. You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing that, how can you then come in later and expect the same deal at the beginning? The price has changed. And that's where it's like, even I've had experience where, I'm working with my, fellow men of color, trying to build things, and they come at it in a way that, I think I found your necklace.
Yes, baby.
So they come at you in a way where y'all like,
now.
Bro, we have to understand what it means to be an owner and what it means to actually build something.
You have to put in work.
You have to put in the same amount of time. Just like you go to work and you put in 8 hours, you got to come and build this the same way.
It's not even the same, because when you go to work and you put in 8 hours and you're working for somebody else, you don't really have to care about anything else past clocking in and clocking out and doing the bare minimum.
But you still have to give that time.
But you do have to do the bare minimum at least.
But I'm saying the bare that's cool. When you working with some groups of your own comrades in color, you know what I'm saying?
They feel like
they don't feel like
up is okay.
They think that just coming to the job is okay, and not understand. No, there is hours, especially when you develop in media. Like it's not easy where you can just come sit down and think, oh, recording is just enough. No, it's not.
No, it's
about
process.
Recording, editing, getting the content out, boosting stuff if you have to. Like, in their situation, they're not just paying for cameras, because even like our set is like a couple $1,000s. Like, there's people's sets when they come in, they're buying producers, they're getting
all of the production behind this show is a couple $1,000s.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about with just us is that.
Yeah.
Just imagine what it is now, where you got to get a way bigger set. You got to get certain type of cameras and things of that nature that they're using, and it's just it's a task. And if we're doing this for months at a time, I'm paying people day wages, and you think that you can come to me, look me dead in my eyes, and think you can come with the same price that we initially started with months ago? You're fucking out of your mind. You're fucking crazy. Like, you're really plumb loco.
Okay. So in this, I'm switching topics. So was there anything else that you wanted to?
Dang,
it's in the same thing, because I saw this on Twitter, and it was the guys like yelling at each other about sports, right?
Okay.
And then I saw somebody be like, "So this is the less emotional gender? I want to have gender wars."
Okay, well, let me finish up on this real quick.
Yeah, that's why I said go ahead.
Yeah, because this is that was not in the same vein of this song. But no, it's just, again, I just want to just give credit.
It's the same clip though.
Oh, was Brandon Marshall doing that?
Yeah, he was yelling on the podcast, and they were like, "This is why this ended."
Okay, but
also, how is this the less emotional gender?
See, that's
these
what I'm saying.
niggas were yelling about nonsense.
Well, I want to add him because I know what clip you're talking about, and that's where I kind of was wrapping everything up too.
Okay,
was getting to this point.
Let me let you get to it, baby.
First off, he's not in the wrong for doing business with him. Like, one of the conversations I had with one of my homeboys was, he said B. Marsh is supposed to be one of the homies. I promise you, if you ever deal with somebody who that's their excuse regarding something, either why they didn't come through or why they should be still accommodated for something that they didn't come through for, and it's like, bro, I'm still the homie, run away. Because that person will waste your fucking time.
Always.
Every day. Like, run away from that.
Without a doubt.
If that person feels like you owe them a certain amount of grace in business, they're not a good business person. And you know how I think. When I come at odds with something, you either one or two things. What is it?
What?
This is supposed to be the woman I love. Sinister, or you're stupid. So if you're being sinister,
I didn't know what context you.
I said if we come at odds with something, I'm usually thinking one or two things. You're either sinister or you're stupid. So if you're stupid, I don't want to do business with you because I'm clearly wasting my time. And if you're sinister, you really disrespecting me. For real. Like I had one time where I was recommending to somebody like, you know, you play the game a lot. They had a PS5 or whatever when it first came out. You play the game a lot. You should Twitch or, you know, one of the streamer sites to get money while you're doing it. Mm-hmm. This motherfucker wanted me to put everything together, set everything up for this individual, and then get no compensation. Mm-hmm. I said, you out your plum, loco, crazy
mind you,
ass
this
mind.
was a grown-ass man.
Like, I'm like, no, that's never happening. Ever.
Are you fucking dumb?
Like, if I'm doing that, that means I'm getting 100% of your profit.
You want to be a pretty little princess.
Like, I need 100% of your profit if you asking me to do some type of technical work.
You in Atlanta, you can decide to be that if you want to. Go ahead. You gonna be
I'm not the one. Like, when it comes to even this like editing, all this stuff, like, bro, like, I'm not letting anybody think they can out of anything. Like, that's just the way I do business.
Rhetoric.
I didn't mean that.
It feels so hard. I hate calling you that. Rhetoric puts in a lot of work when it comes to like editing and everything, like setup, editing. Everything is done by him. And I will continue saying that. I feel like I've said that a couple times already, but he does a great job at doing all that.
No, I'm just like I said, I just understand when you're Brandon Marshall and you're the person who's organizing all of this information, and then once you're putting in the sweat, people want to come behind you and then be like, oh, well, they want to have comments about what's going on. They want to have control of what's going on. I was like, bro, you wasn't here 12 nights when I'm with my partner over there.
Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, you wasn't with the group of people who were sitting here all night stressed about this.
Yeah.
Who were worried about this and was trying to make sure we putting out the best product. You was at home with your family with your day check.
Okay, babe, let's move on.
You're right.
Yeah, we've been on this for a long time.
But my thing was just to kind of surmise what you was talking about with the Brandon Marshall thing. Was Brandon Marshall has bipolar. Like, he's severe bipolar. He has to take medicine and things like that. So I don't think it was fair for T.O. was another person who criticized him and brought up his mental illness.
Terrell Owens has bad takes on things because, okay, so Keith Lee.
I think you might be getting Terrell Owens mixed up with Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco. Okay, those are two different people.
That is racism at its finest.
Listen.
You just got two black men.
Niggas be throwing balls. I don't know.
Like I said, but we can get into Keith Lee in the second hour.
Yeah, let's continue. What's next? Because we were on that for a while. That's only the second thing we talked about, babe.
Well, I mean, it's 20 minutes in. That's good. That's good time.
It's only 20 minutes in?
Well, 40 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like we at least been 45 minutes
it's like
talking.
30, it's more like 35 because of the music.
Let's continue, because what the fuck?
Hey, man, we was getting into some good shit there. That was personal stuff. Like,
that was very good conversation. We gonna have to skip over a couple things.
I mean, we good to go. All right, so we got to get into the king of Dirty Mackin', man. Shout out to Young Jeezy, taking it easy. My boy,
you got Dirty Mackin' from that interview, and I got a completely different thing from that interview.
I'm like fully. I didn't know this was a rollout. Like, I feel like this man used the divorce as a rollout because he just dropped an album.
He has an album. Yeah, he has an album out.
So, like, I feel like there may have been some things going on where this was already problematic beforehand. He was like, hey, let's just hold this off till I finish the album. Then we'll announce the separation. And then I'm going to go Dirty Mac to Nia Long. Like, we need to play some of this Dirty Mackin'. Like, this was, like, I haven't seen Dirty Mackin' like this since I was a young 17, 18-year-old in a dorm room.
It's Dirty Mackin' in the form of black love propaganda.
Like my Dirty Mackin'.
That's crazy.
My Dirty Mackin' was in there, was like, oh, he at that other school. He don't love you, girl. Like, he don't want you for real. He would have came to this school. Like, that was my Dirty Mackin'. This shit right here is legendary.
I honestly, I don't know. I feel like Nia Long's PR team is definitely putting in work. And Jeezy's PR team is definitely putting in work. This move was, I feel like it looked good on both their parts. I feel like there's a small percentage of black women, including me, that are kind of like, nigga, go ahead.
No, we need to play this. This is just
Go ahead first.
elite level Dirty Mac right here.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't know, Nia Long has also been going something with the father of her child, where he cheated on her, with a pale woman for the Boston Celtics. So her name's been in the news for something that hasn't been ideal. But I
loved this interview for knowing what Nia Long thought after she went through what she went through.
I didn't know the snowman got this dirty.
Right, like.
Yes, we did with his beef with Gucci.
When it's time to be done.
Right.
And that's usually not about another person, an affair, or some chick that's willing to like make you feel like a king. Because that's why most men cheat. Most men cheat because
that's fascinating to me.
It's so gross. It's so stupid.
I personally, this is my quote: "Real niggas don't cheat."
Oh shit, that was funny. Okay, we need to play that back. Hold on.
What you mean when you
hold on. I gotta go back. We gotta play that back.
My quote: "Real niggas don't cheat."
You don't think so?
Hell no.
I kind of understand what you mean when you say that.
Yo, if you could see his, I'm not gonna put his on the screen because I don't know if they copyright niggas. But yo, when you see his face in the real niggas don't cheat. Like. Now again, I kind of agree with that notion.
Not on Nia Long.
No,
that's the rest of the sentence that he forgot to put in there.
I don't think y'all know. Jeezy has a bar where he says if he see Nia Long, he gonna try to shoot his shot. Basically, like he has a bar about this. But no, I'm saying what I'm saying. I feel
like a lot of rappers have bars about Nia Long.
Yeah,
she one of them ones.
Yeah,
like,
she legit.
yeah, she that girl.
But to see this level of Dirty Mac and like this nigga is vile. Like. Again, I agree. Real niggas don't cheat. They just gonna tell you, hey, like, I'm about to be with this shawty tonight and you finna be cool with it. That's what a real nigga would do in that situation. There's no cheating with it. It's telling you how shit going and she just understanding that this situation is more valuable than not being in it. Like, that's real nigga. That is real nigga shit. But the way that you going about that was Herculean. Okay, hold on.
So
there's another one I gotta show, but what you about to say?
I was just going to say that, like, I don't know. I just think it's really...
This one is sinister. The next
I
one
think it's interesting how black men be running black... I think it's interesting, and at the same time, I think, oh, fuck, it's very, like, slightly... I think it's slightly pick-me-ish of me to think that it's good that black men do come running back to black women. But at the same time, I'm like, fuck out of here. You know, like, a part of me is like, come here, my babies. Like, come back home.
Didn't ask to do the interview.
I don't think Nia Long needs to ask niggas to do anything for real. She's Nia Long.
He could have wanted to do it with Lucy Liu.
You think? I think
that was good.
In whatever universe you live in, it's more rational to think that Jeezy reached out to Nia Long to do this rather than the opposite. Like, Nia Long in my universe barely knew who Jeezy was before this.
Outta here.
Before the like
come on.
Before him filing for divorce from an Asian woman that said she likes her black dick on the side, Nia Long did not have Jeezy in her, like, in her world, in her universe of things she gives a fuck about. Come on. Can we please agree on that?
But the reason I know that you're guarded is because when I was in high school, I only dated drug dealers.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
That's a nasty old really.
I lived in South Central LA.
Wow.
That's fair.
That.
Really?
Nah.
But
that was that. Oh, really?
Where is Nia Long from?
If a nigga, oh, really you?
Where did Nia Long grow up?
She's in California. Compton, California.
Yeah, Compton, nigga. There was only drug dealers for you to date.
But she throwing bait right there, though. You talking about the snowman?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a thing after this.
Nah, she can't be that messy.
I think she can be that messy because she's never been messy. And she's allowed to be a tiny bit messy now.
She cannot. You can't.
You don't think so? This would be a little. This would be a little yummy. I would like it a little bit. I don't know. I I don't know. I feel like this isn't messy enough. I want Nia Long to pop out with like my toxic choice, Kanye West. And she was in that she wasn't.
She wasn't Touch the Sky.
Yeah. So that would be like a callback.
She got too much agency though for Kanye.
For my toxic, nostalgic black heart, she would pop out with Kanye. And for my, like, I don't know who else, who's respectable still that she could
Tracee
like
Ellis
link
Ross?
up with. Ooh, as like like bisexual queens, or like something like if her and Tracy got together, I would absolutely, yes, iconic. Let's do that. Let's do either her and Kanye on like the negative side as like salacious, what the fuck? Or her and Tracy still salacious, but positive, like, ooh, queer queens. Queer black queens would love that.
I think those women both have the affliction of loving black men too much, so I don't think they would tag team scissor.
You think Tracy loves black men too much?
I think she enjoys being physically.
I don't think Tracy has
with
loved
men, yes.
men enough in the media.
Okay.
She
Now,
takes them
now I'll
as
be frank. Now I'll be
lovers.
frank. Now she likes to be fucked by black men.
Yes, she be taking dick.
I was trying to be-
period, ma'am.
I was trying to be a little more coy.
Ew. She be getting that pussy ate. I love Tracy.
You know nothing about how she gives it up. She could be very submissive.
She could be, but it don't matter. It don't mean she don't be getting that pussy ate.
She could be very. She may not like that.
I don't know.
She
gives.
giver.
I love getting my pussy ate energy from all the videos I've seen of her.
Well, that's because that's what sells.
Getting out that pool seductively and whatnot, and her taking.
I'm glad you said
lovers.
this. I'm glad you brought this up too, because we can talk about your girl from Insecure. Because, like I said, the sexual thing is.
Oh
being
my
sold.
God! Please, get some dick.
No. Can we stop talking about people who aren't doing anything? Like, that is the most ridiculous shit in the world. I don't want to talk about. And can you put her name and all that stuff? Because I forgot her name.
God damn, I forget her
She's
name.
from Insecure. She was Molly from Insecure. She's 39 years old, still a virgin. That was pretty much the thing that went out because I guess one of the people who was interviewing her had brought it up and asked that question, and that went viral everywhere.
Yvonne Orji.
My thing is, like, as the media, we should not care about what people are not doing. And as asexual advocates out there,
Yvonne
stop.
is Nigerian as fuck. I think her father is a pastor. She grew up wildly religious. This is why you need to start sucking dick in college, high school. I don't know. Have your parents walking on you sucking dick early so that they lower their expectations immediately. Because you being 40 years old and a virgin is absolutely motherfucking ridiculous, man.
No, she clearly doesn't like that sex. Like, that's clearly not something she's interested in.
Also,
If you're going almost
Is
2
she lying?
decades, she could be.
she could be lying.
She could definitely be lying. I think that.
Because that's
but,
crazy.
But you got to think about the generation.
You have access to niggas that look like Damson Idris, and you
Stop
have
thinking
not.
they have access to them. That's not necessarily true. Like, you have to stop that.
I mean,
just
they be in
because
the same rooms.
That don't mean she has access to them. She wants to be
So-
treated like a lady. Like, she doesn't want to be treated like
Who,
to get smashed
if
on.
this is a lie,
Well, I mean, if it's a lie, then
didn't know.
somebody would have brought this up. Niggas are catty.
Loose-lipped.
Like, I'm if she's, especially if she's going around telling people she's a virgin, yeah, I'm telling, no, you're lying. I fucked you. Like, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're right. Niggas is a messy.
But my thing is this: I just don't care about asexuality. Like, that should never be discussed what someone's not doing. It's not important. It's not relevant in any way. You're not doing anything. Asexual people, you're not doing anything. You're saying, hey, I don't have sex. Okay, no one cares.
Yeah.
We only care about the people who are actually getting penetrated.
Because everybody be fucking.
But they don't.
It's kind of weird that you're not.
But my thing is, like, that's the
So
only
that's what
the only
makes it
person you should
interesting,
the only
is-
person you should bring that up to is a person you are in a relationship with, because the social convention is, there's
If somebody came out and be like, I only blink 5 times a day and I'm completely
don't tell me
fine,
that.
we'd be like, why?
But don't tell me that.
That's interesting as fuck.
That's
no.
not. No, it doesn't. That doesn't need to come up. That
That's-
you blink 5
I
times.
feel
a day. I
like-
wouldn't even count that.
I feel like that's the unusual reaction to something that's out of the norm. If you do something that's out of the norm, if you don't do, like, even if it's something that you don't do, and if it's out of the norm, and if 99% of us do it, then that's why it's interesting, is because you don't do the same shit that everyone else is doing on a regular basis.
I don't care about the kids.
Not doing this?
I don't care about the kids who are straight edge, who
Tell
don't
me
do
why
drugs.
you're not doing this.
No, don't tell me about the kids. I don't care why you don't do drugs. I don't care why you don't get in trouble or break the law. I don't care about those things. Like, I don't care about why you don't do things.
No, none of those are good examples, because lots of people are doing drugs. Lots of people are doing
But I don't
crime.
care about the people who are. I don't care about the people who take the stance of I don't do drugs. Like, or like that's who they live on. And
I'm
their
just
mantra.
saying,
But
like,
that's my thing. Is like, don't tell me about it though. Unless I offer you something, don't tell me you don't drink.
Her not doing
like,
something.
Have you
is
met people?
interesting
You remember when you was in
because
college where you met people who that was their
lots of people
personality?
It's not a lot of people not doing that shit.
But you know that's lame people who make that shit their personality. Where like the fact that they don't drink, they'll go to places where people are drinking just so they can tell people around they don't drink.
Lame ass niggas.
Like, that's what I'm saying here. Is like, asexual people, we don't care that you have sex, that you don't have sex. Continue not having sex.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. When you have sex, then tell us.
We don't.
That would be interesting.
No, it wouldn't be, because everybody fucking. So it wouldn't be that interesting.
But if you was asexual and had sex, you know.
I don't think it would be that interesting.
We can call you a hypocrite.
You just join in the rest of the population.
I remember, and we can get off
it's
this.
It's more interesting that you not.
It's not. That's not interesting. You telling us why you don't have sex is not
to
interesting.
Me.
How? Please elaborate.
If you're doing something that's outside of
but
the majority.
But they're not doing anything, though.
You're playing semantics.
I'm telling
right?
the words.
If everybody is having sex and you're not having sex, your not having sex is the something that you are doing that is more interesting to me, even though you're not having sex. And you're trying to be like, oh, but they're not having sex, so they're not doing anything.
Why?
Like, let's move on.
You know why we're having this difference? And this is solely because of our gender. Because it's not odd that men aren't having
sex. Oh my God, gender fucking bullshit.
That's what you just wanted to do earlier.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with that.
Yes, it does. Actually, our whole thinking and thought process is, so let me just say, our whole thought process comes from this. There's only like 40% of the men that are around are having the sex. So, of course, you're going to think that.
It has nothing to do with sex.
As a woman,
it has nothing to do with sex.
As woman,
I'm telling you that if you're doing something that everyone else is not, like if everyone else is doing a thing and you're not doing the thing, I'm more interested
but that's
in
not
you.
What's happening with
it's
asexual,
more interesting to me that you're not, your reasoning for you not doing the thing is more interesting to me. If 99% is engaging in this, the 1% is going to be more interesting to me. Okay, which is why in this specific example, asexual people would be more interested to me. It has nothing to do with sexuality in general. If everyone's smoking, if 99% of the population is smoking, 1% isn't, I'm going to be more interested in that 1% that's not. If 99% of the fucking population is fucking wearing green and the 1% isn't, I'm going to be more interested in that 1% not wearing green. It doesn't have to do with the actual thing that's happening. You're focusing too much on sex. It has nothing to do with sex
on the lack that nothing is
gender.
Happening. You're telling me about nothing that's happening. That's what I'm focusing on.
Like, what the fuck? I feel like y'all understand what the fuck I'm saying, right?
They don't.
This nigga is stupid as fuck.
No, they looking at you like you are a goof of epic proportions. Let me just get into this. You see what happened with Tasha K?
Tasha K and...
What happened with her? You see the most recent thing that happened with her?
No, I didn't. What happened with Tasha K?
I just want to say, I love my algorithms. I love how the way it shows, because it shows me shit the way I want to see it.
Yeah, that's what algorithms do.
No, because not all the way. Sometimes they show you in a timely manner as well. So they show me the content the way I want to receive it.
Okay.
So the way I received this wasn't what initially happened, was the altercation between Tasha K and somebody. I saw the nigga who she was in the altercation with. This doofy ass nigga come on the internet with bandages all on his face. You could tell he was whooped halfway to hell. And he talks about what happened. So basically, I don't know if he recognized her at this party or he knew who she was, But he saw her in the dress she was wearing, and he said that ass was looking fat or looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid ass nigga didn't know her husband was there, and also security and other people. 5 niggas jumped on this nigga, and I'm talking about they beat this nigga down. So again, I see him talking about what happens. I'm thinking to myself, nigga, you stupid for even think you could just talk to somebody like that. And he really, in his mind, thinking he in the right. Like, oh, I just said one little thing. I didn't touch her. I didn't say, nigga, you fucking disrespected this woman.
What did he say?
I just told you. He said her ass was looking good. Like, he said her ass was looking fat in what she was wearing.
Okay.
Like, he was being wild. Like, really, it was on some shit like, you can kind of tell this nigga wasn't from the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could tell the way he approached it, this nigga wasn't from the mainland, and Tasha K she wasn't flying with that shit. They beat this nigga ass, and then on my timeline a few moments later is when I see the ass whooping. So I get to see him trying to shoot plea and shoot bail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see him getting his ass whooped. And it just made it better because it's like you get to see the warts and the wounds, and then you saw where they came from. When I say they was on top of that boy, they was beating that nigga to the ground.
That's crazy.
And y'all niggas gotta learn how to act when y'all talking about folks' wives and talking about these women. Y'all can't be at these events and thinking these women ain't spoken for. Like, you gonna have to y'all gotta really change your approach. Because my thing is this, the nigga may not even be mad what you said at him, but he got the crazy ass woman with him, so now he gotta react.
Yeah, that's usually.
Like, we was in a situation like that, like early when we started went out one time. Remember?
You could tell the story. I don't remember at all.
So you remember we went to, I think it was, we went whatever place is off of North Ave or whatever, and we went to go get to the car, and I was getting the keys from the valet, and somebody came up to talk to you while we was out, and I had to step to the nigga.
Oh yeah, he tried to talk to me, and I was like, no.
The shit that was disrespectful to you niggas
usually
is, I want y'all to see this, okay? Get a good picture of what y'all looking at right here, okay? This ain't a normal looking woman, okay? This is a very highly attractive female. Y'all niggas can't be talking to them like that. You should always assume a woman of this caliber or higher is with the nigga. Like, you should never feel comfortable being, this nigga probably was about 255.
He was big.
He was probably about 4'6".
He was way shorter than me.
And the nigga had his fucking beady ass braids and beady ass beard.
That was crazy.
You should never feel that confident, looking that ugly, looking that insignificant to talk to a woman that looks like this.
Oh my God, there was an Amazon driver the other day. You remember? I was getting in my car. So my baby, every time I come home, he picks me up from my car. Like, he comes out to my car and picks me up to walk us to our apartment. And he was picking me up. So he was walking up, and then the Amazon driver was like driving into our complex and stopped to talk to me, and then didn't notice my whole ass husband walking up, and he said something to me, and I just.
When you went back in,
I be deaf.
When I went back out the house, I had said something to him. I had told that nigga, he was shorter than me too. Like, a lot of times, see, my advantage is when niggas come up to me, they gotta do this. So
my baby tall.
When they break that neck, it get a little different. So I went up to him, I say, bro,
I don't know how tall he looks on the couch, but he's tall.
I told him, bro, I said, I don't care how much you think Amazon paying you, bro. You not fly enough to talk to a woman that look like this with your work clothes on, smelling like boxes. You can't do that. And again, my family is part of logistics, so I'm not shitting on the profession. I'm just shitting on what you doing at that time was not the type. This not the type of caliber of woman that you should be feeling comfortable talking with. Put your standards down, add a couple pounds to the scale, and maybe she got a little couple chin hairs underneath there. That's what your speed. That's what you need to be looking for. Not this. So again, I if it comes to it, I'm gonna have to get. I don't want to get tough. I'm not the type of person that likes to get tough, but I am going to say something if you're trying to speak to the woman that I'm with, and especially when you niggas who look dusty as the niggas that feel comfortable doing it.
I don't know. I feel like it's the niggas who look the dustiest that be the most comfortable doing that shit too. It's
vile behavior, bro. It's like you could tell these niggas was not guided well, that they feel that they can have access to women. Like, you could tell that they had a woman predominantly around telling them things that weren't true. about themselves.
Your mom loved you way too much.
Or she didn't love you at all. She just could only tell you lies and make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're not that special.
You're not.
You heard about
You're
that?
normal and you're below average.
All right, so you heard about that TikTok adoption story? Shit.
Oh, so
crazy.
the girl that, so her mom cheated on her husband with a black man, and then
Familiar story.
and then and then when she found out that the baby was the black man's baby, she gave it up for adoption. Told nobody in her family. So she decided. So she with her husband decided to tell everybody in the family that it was a stillborn or whatever she carried throughout the pregnancy, and then the baby was born and then died. But whole time she gave up the baby to a fam. I don't know if it was a black family or not, but a family. And then she asked the family to give her updates regularly on this child that she decided to abandon and let everyone in her family know that she was dead. And that's the story, right?
Hold on, say that last part again.
So she asked the foster mother for updates.
I saw that part.
Regardless of the fact that she let everyone know that was actually like blood related to this girl, that everyone who was related to her thought that she was dead.
Yeah.
But she acted like she cared about getting updates on her on a regular basis, which is like, that was the weirdest part about the whole story to me, is why do you want regular updates about this?
It's not really
child?
as weird as you think about when you add the fact that these folks be wanting a savior complex in a way where they feel like at least if I know, I'm aware, it means something. And it doesn't. Like it's. So
you think she was like, oh, I just want to know that she's not going to a foster family that's
even
just like trying to.
Even if she does, this lady
benefit.
could just be somebody who's just sick. Like she could be wanting to know she's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like it could just be anything like that. We gotta understand, like the fact that she's willing to go to you could just gave up the woman the girl for adoption and just took that stain. Like the shit that's messed up is you don't want to take that stain that comes with socially of giving up your kid. And that's what's really the fucked up part.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to hide it, lie to people, all the so you already cheated on your husband, and then you compile it with lying to your family. And then now you got this whole black girl out here living a incomplete life because she not really with her peoples. Like that shit fucked up.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy. Like, and it's not fair on the parents that do shit like that. Where it's like you out here living a wild ass life.
Do you think it's fucked up that the
and then you lying?
The adopted family
complied?
Yeah, with the updates, because I feel like I'd have been like, no, fuck no. You decided to give this child up solely based off of the fact that it's a half black child, and your adult ass decided to cheat.
I don't know the other family situation, but like my first thought is to think that they may have had physical limitations in the house. So like when you're at that helm where you're like, bro, I physically can't do this, and it's the only way that I can have it.
No, because the girl, when she was telling the story,
you gotta think about this. Hold on, you gotta think about this. And my parents worked in the foster system, like they had foster kids and things like that. These people, especially when they get them real young, they don't look at these folks as kids.
Bro, she said that she was given up because she was black. Yeah. Because it was half black.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about the people who adopt. You asked how the people who adopted her could comply to that. And I'm telling you that they don't look at these folks as actual kids and humans. They look at them as something that is replacing a part of them that they can't do. So they're going to comply. Well, all I got to do is tell you updates and you really don't have to have any connection.
No,
That's why they're going to comply.
I can't wrap my mind around that. Like this is because she said that she was adopted into an amazing family that like actually treated her as their daughter. So this is my daughter that you gave up because she's half black, and now you want updates on her just to appease yourself? Fuck you.
I mean, somebody, yes, of
Closed
course,
adoption.
You would think that as well, but you don't have that choice because once it's open and that person doesn't comply, they will just find somebody who will comply.
Okay, so is that a thing? Like you have to.
If that's what the requests are.
The biological parent chooses to have an open or a closed adoption, and the adopting parent has to comply to that term.
Yeah, because if they wanted an open adoption, yeah. Because when you work with the agency, they find people who want that, and they're going to comply with your request.
Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. So if that's the case, then I completely understand. But if that wasn't the case, then I'd be like, nah, fuck you. You don't get to get updates on this girl that you abandoned because of her race, because of half of her race.
I'm pretty sure
this is a decision that you made as an adult.
Was the foster family aware of the race aspect?
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I mean, like I said, when they're in that situation and you physically can't do something in regards to like producing kids, you're going to comply. Like that's not the hard part of believing all this. Like a lot of all this stuff is actually pretty understandable. Like when that black parent come in, them white women will start lying. They will lie. They will say whatever they got to say.
We know historically that white women will lie when it comes to having sex with black men.
And any kind of
and black men have paid the price over and over and over again in different forms throughout fucking history. Like, that's it.
I mean,
what else is next? Niggas need to stop fucking with these white women.
Oh shit. All right. Let me see. What else we got here? All right, I want to tell you what
we can make a compilation of me telling niggas to stop fucking with white women.
We almost there.
Almost.
We got a few more times for you to say it.
Yeah.
All right. So I was did you see Ice Spice performance for Halloween or whatever?
Was she had her old pussy out?
Yeah, she had that ass out. I was wondering, have you seen the most recent Doja Cat?
And she had her old ass out too.
I was wondering, why is nobody criticizing the same way?
Because people are more sexually attracted to Ice Spice. Doja Cat literally just is a she's a fucking femcel that happens to be sexy.
Yo,
Ice Spice is sexy in real fucking life. Like Ice Spice, like
Doja is the male gaze.
Ice Spice has more
traditional with it.
Yeah.
In regards to that aspect.
And Doja Cat for a very long time has been trying to get you niggers to stop thinking that she's attractive.
Yeah, you come out on stage with some panties on with that dump truck, that's not going to change niggas' minds.
Regardless.
We don't care about that bald ass head.
That's it. Niggas not looking at your head regardless.
When niggas see that, what they thinking about is, well, I can grab her whole head while that thing tooted up and do things. Like, I can go.
Yeah, but too bad she don't like niggas.
White boys doing the same thing too. I said the male gaze.
White dick only enters.
Okay, like I said, she's still for the male gaze, no matter what that kind of crazy shit. I just didn't like the fact that folks is doing that little popularity shit. They shitting on Ice Spice's performance because, again, granted, both of them weren't doing nothing. What the clips that I saw, both of them weren't having a real big performance. Like, again,
Doja just
nobody's
puts on
dancing
a better
behind.
show than Ice Spice.
I mean, but nobody was. I didn't even see nobody on stage with Doja with the clip I saw.
Just that clip, but there were people like she
I
has
hope
a whole
so.
production.
I would hope so.
You like we talked about it a couple weeks ago. How
But that
good
was
she is on stage.
But yeah, that was at that one part. That doesn't mean
That
doesn't mean what her show
regardless
is always
of how like problematic she is, the bitch puts on a show. Like she literally.
I've never been to one of her shows, so
I haven't been to any of her shows. I've watched a lot of her performances. She does what needs to be done 100%.
Okay. Well, like I said, that's the only
and
part.
Ice Spice is just starting out. She's very awkward on stage. She just be walking around shaking her ass. Like
they need to get her some dancers.
She needs more production.
She needs some artist development a little bit. But I don't think, to me, like I said, it was just weird seeing these two essentially the same thing going on, but one was more criticized than the other, and it wasn't seem like she had a bad performance. Like it just seemed like one, her mic wasn't loud enough for Ice Spice, and then two, she had a wedgie she was trying to get out.
It wasn't a wedgie. She fucking that
shit.
dress was short as shit, and it kept riding up, and there was nothing that she could do about it.
All right, but shout out to both of them. But I gotta tell you what I've decided what I want for my birthday. So They're
Nigga, your birthday is in June.
yeah, but this is gonna be, you need to start saving up. So have you ever heard of naked breakfast?
Absolutely the fuck not.
So basically, naked
Them
breakfast.
bitches not even bad. Like, you want me to pay for some mid-ass bitches to come over and cook in some thongs with they fucking low-hanging fucking gave birth titties out?
Now, I was going to say, I'm glad that you did speak on that, because that was one of the crux that I was seeing. So there was a viral video that came out with them pushing their ads, and I guess they just recently put their rates up to like 10K. And I need to know, are y'all fucking?
Dude, does the 10K get me different caliber bitches than what's in the ads?
That's true.
Because those are 3 to 500 max bitches.
Like, I'm looking at the quality of
and
the
then
women.
what is the quality of the food? The quality of the food depends on how much I'm paying for these titties.
No, it's not. The quality,
because the titties is not even what's because if the
Okay.
food is garbage and you got these mid-ass titties around me, I'm fighting everybody.
That's how I know
I'm
you a
fighting
woman.
these bitches.
That's how you could tell you're a woman. Because if I'm paying 10 racks, I could give a fuck about the food. You are fucking. Like, that is what my mind frame is. This is coming in for you to put some light food down, maybe some crepes,
some hors d'oeuvres.
No, I'm watching
and
what these
be
women.
a whore, bitch.
No, I'm watching what these women are doing. No, they just cut up fruit. It's some apples. They doing the Summer Walker, apple slices, some oranges. It looked like maybe some a pancake or two, and that was all. Maybe a little blueberries here and there. Y'all got to be fucking for 10 racks, because it ain't for y'all just to cook naked in somebody's apartment.
Baby, I don't think they charged 10.
Yes, they did. Look, I'll show you. No,
I think. Oh, really? I think because I thought somebody said that, like,
that's why I told you need to
for
start saving
10K
now.
you gotta get me some bad bitches, because
No, right here they say new rates in January 2024. Our starting price will increase to 10K. Starting price.
For them bitches?
And I'm looking at them like, that's the one thing I'm upset about. These chicks ain't got no ass. Ain't no real titties up in here. Like, this is some,
For
poor
10K,
quality.
I need to get like porn star quality bitches.
I mean, 10 racks, like I said, I can understand. For 10 racks, what to me would be 2 women who will do this light serving, and then y'all ready to go to Pound Town. Like, that has to be a part of 10 racks.
I'm not paying 10K for
10 racks have to be part
you
of
to
it.
have panties on, just your titties out, and you making French toast, bitch.
No, they got their asses out. They don't have no panties on.
They have thongs on, babe.
Is that a thong?
They have thongs.
Oh, they do?
They
Damn.
have thongs on.
Oh, yeah. No, y'all got to have that pussy out.
Yeah, the pussy's not even out.
That's not even naked breakfast.
That's crazy.
Yo, naked breakfast, yo.
10K for you to only have a topless breakfast, and breakfast is the cheapest meal out of all of the day.
If y'all niggas want that, I can bring some chicks in here that's way thicker. They got way bigger cup sizes.
Where are you getting them from?
And they $600.
Where are you getting these bitches from?
$600.
Where are you getting these bitches from?
Don't worry about that. I lived a different life before I met you. But $600, and they'll do that.
And
you gonna get real food.
Shit over right now. Where you getting these bitches from? Where the fuck is you getting these bitches from? Where you getting $600 thick bitches from?
From the good place. Upset for nothing.
I'll fuck this whole shit up.
Upset for nothing. Well, you upset for nothing. That's my past life. But I'm telling you, $600, bro. They'll do some waffle and fried chicken, and they'll blow you. Good morning. That's
the
a
type of life that you used to live.
I'm just telling you what I know.
I love how this nigga could talk about the type of life that he used to live. But if I
you just talked about Save on the Don, brother.
All I said was we talked.
Okay, that's talking about it.
If I actually talked about what I used to my things, this nigga chest would hurt.
It would.
He would go into fucking cardiac motherfucking arrest. If we were really potting, I would tell my stories too, but I care more about my marriage than this podcast.
You don't have to go crazy, yo.
No, I care more about my marriage than this podcast. I have actively chosen to hold content back.
You should.
Yeah, because I care about my marriage more than the podcast. I'll tell you that on a regular basis. It's different with you. You can tell the stories, and
I mean, I'm just talking
my
about.
chest won't hurt.
I wasn't even telling a story. Nothing I said was a story though. And also, we gotta understand doors and locks, yo. Like
la la la.
That's just at the end of the day.
What else?
Different requirements for keys and locks.
What else? Baby cakes. I look good as fuck.
Why are they still pushing this Lay Bank song? That
Layla?
I thought it was Lay.
Daddy boner gone.
Oh my God! Please stop! That song is who's behind? Is Kevin Lyles behind this?
I don't know who's behind it.
I keep seeing it everywhere.
She posts at least like one. You remember those girls?
Yeah, the one that was running around.
Get like me, like those.
I thought
girls.
it was like Jesus Christ. That
yeah. Hello, Christ.
Yeah.
I'm about to sin again. I think she's doing that same like
yeah,
marketing.
But this
she
but
posts
this is
like
bad.
one thing a day.
But this is bad.
Baby cakes. This is one of those things that is not for your demographic, right? So you're 30.
I can still tell it's bad.
You're 30-year-old because she gets at least 1 million fucking views each time she posts this shit on TikTok.
What I'm looking at, niggas is shitting on her.
And no, because you're looking on Twitter full of old, jaded, bitter, bitch-ass niggas. On TikTok, yes, queen, you killed that. Yeah, killed that little... They love her. They love her.
I just feel like...
She is TikTok's sweetheart. Layla...
No way.
Honestly, she's Ethiopian. She's East African. She's super cute. She used to be like a tomboy. She's growing into like her femininity.
She's still a tomboy.
I said she's growing into her femininity more. So, I don't know. I feel like you're having one of those like old ass Ison-ish and Joe.
No, it's not, yo.
And Joe opinions.
I'm
shit
in
is
this.
way too young and outside of like this. Like Layla does not give a fuck what either of us thinks.
Who cares?
What her content is not geared towards our demographic.
I could give a fuck about what y'all think about demographics, nigga.
The people that she wants to like her shit, likes her shit. They really do. They genuinely love her. They fuck with her OD. There's mad fan pages that post edits of her doing her little...
That's all Kevin Lyles, yo. I believe that's Kevin Lyles. Look
they love that bitch.
It's Kevin Lyles, yo.
And her East African ass, big ass forehead. Like, they love her.
It's all Kevin. It's all smoke and mirrors.
She
yo.
right. All this is East African as fuck.
All that shit is boost.
The eye forehead combination.
Have you even
gorgeous.
listened to the song?
Not fully. I've heard clips of it.
My thing is this. I was one of the first people early that said I want to hear about you bitches' losses in the music. Like I want to hear about taking L.
breakdowns of the song.
Her song is stupid. Everything about it is not about.
He has like a little dick, and she don't like him, and she
everything
fucks him
about
anyways,
it is stupid.
and blah blah blah. Like I don't get that.
Again, all of it's stupid. When Meg just dropped Cobra, I like to hear about those kind of L's.
Meg. Yes, I'm very depressed.
You gotta have some weak ones in there,
bitch. That shit was garbage. I'm so sad that your first song after all this shit was like a mental okay. I'm sorry that you went through all that. I get it. Like, let me precursor this with like I was on Team Meg. Fuck Tory. He shot her the entire fucking time. I'm Team Black woman the entire time. I wanted Meg to come out the gate with her first single, right? I wanted her to come out the gate with her first single swinging. Okay, not even regular. Boom, boom. Like literally naming, bitch, you said this specifically and fuck you. Fuck you, Tory. You came too fast, bitch. I wanted vitriol. I wanted anger. I wanted Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I did not get that. I got a journal entry. I got therapy. Which, I mean, I guess, fuck. That's the more mature fucking
It
way.
was needed, though. Like, there is no
Boo!
woman. There's no girl out here who's really talking about
I know!
their L's.
I wanted her to be like, fuck y'all.
But see, that's the thing about
That's all I wanted.
You don't want a story. Like, this is, you got to think about, this could be like her confessions into Let It Burn.
I wanted her to have her version of control. You remember?
Yeah, I know you talking about.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is,
I
though.
wanted that.
This is real. This is
I
more
wanted
like
her version of control, but I wanted her to list everybody who went against her and said that she lied and said some weird shit. And I wanted her to do that with the black women specifically who went against her and said that she lied and shit like that. Like, I really wanted her to do that.
I mean, but you're not being patient. Right now, we're getting the song about what she was going through mentally.
Yeah, I'm not being
Now
patient
we can get that next song that's more direct. Like I said, this
She
could be.
said she was gonna drop something tonight.
That's what I'm saying. This could be her moment of, like I said, when Usher dropped Confessions Part 2, and to Let It Burn. That's a whole story right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole scenario situation.
So you think she gonna do a whole?
I don't know, but this could be her time to do that.
I mean, I think that would be a good idea for her to do that. I wouldn't hate that. If she started out with this. If she started out with a very, like, sincere, vulnerable thing, and then
somebody has to be the Joe Budden of women rap. Like, y'all, somebody has to go in and do the emo, super feeling, super, like, heavy acoustic.
There are girls that do that, though. They're just not the popular rap girls.
But sometimes we have to have the popular girls do it to make it more
When the popular girls do it, I don't.
mainstream.
Personally, I fucking hate it. But
I
I'm
mean,
not an emo rap
but
girly.
mostly that's I think that's the issue with the consumer of women, is that y'all don't like every time that y'all hear about someone trying to either profit off their L's or talk about y'all might turn it into like it's trauma porn rather than a release.
No, because I don't know about everybody. Me specifically, when it comes to like female rappers, I love a no name. I love a conscious ass rapper who's talking about. Who's not talking about
conscious isn't necessarily talking about your.
I'm just saying,
trauma.
I love a rapper who's not talking about mainstream shit, but at the same time, like, you don't have to. Trauma specifically is not what I want to hear about.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of women, that's how they are consumers of base wise. Like, y'all are the main ones who buy things, so y'all kind of dictate how mainstream things operate.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all aren't going to actually buy music from women who are exploring these kind of feelings or emotions, we aren't going to get it as common. Like, even her, what was it called? Traumatized or whatever? Wasn't that Meg's last project?
Traumatizing.
Yeah, Traumatizing. Like, that one didn't do that well because she was going there trying to really express stuff that she was going through as an individual rather than push that hot girl party life. Everything's good.
I feel
my
like
problems
you have
disappear because my friends are around.
It has
shit.
to. You still have to sonically deliver.
But this song hard.
On top of, I don't think it is.
The beat was crazy.
The beat is crazy. I think her flow is subpar compared to what I've seen from Meg, because Tina Snow, I will continue to say this over and over and over again. The bars, the flow, the delivery, the attitude was top notch on Tina Snow. Like on that album, like that whole alter ego that she has was completely different. And then when she got signed, she has been slowly becoming more and more and more commercialized. Like, she's still very sexualized. She still has the same like topics, but the delivery and the like rough around the edgeness that really made her is gone completely.
Oh, that comes with success.
That's what I feel. And then she's been through so much. So you can't even like say that this is only industry shit, because it's also personal shit. She's been through way too much for one human to go through in a short.
But that's
losing
why you put
her
in the music.
grandmother, losing her grandmother, going through this shit where everybody has turned against you, losing friends. I hope that she gets back to a space where she's making music that sounds good while she's expressing herself and having fun. I want it to sound good. I want her to express herself as an artist. I want her to have fun. But I want to enjoy listening to it, and I didn't enjoy listening to this.
Stay in that pocket, Meg. Find that trauma. Keep pulling out in them bars. I'm with
Keep doing what you're doing. You're on.
You just told her don't do what she do.
No, but keep continuing on your path. And find a good middle ground between what you were doing before and what you are doing now. You're more vulnerable now in your music, but sonically, like, it's not as catching. So I feel like you need to find a middle ground between the two things that you were doing, like how hard and captivating that the whole Tina Snow ego was with how vulnerable Meg Thee Stallion is now. And I feel like the combination of the two would be amazing, genuinely. So that's all I have to say about that.
Stay in this pocket. I don't want things to get better, because I feel like the worse things are, the better the bars are going to come out. I hate it, but hey, that's when you're an artist in that manner, your best shit comes out when you going through trauma. All right.
I feel like that works better for R&B artists than it does for rappers.
Nah, it works for all of them. Art comes from pain, and the best art comes from pain. Song cry. You know. All right, so we got to get into these TV shows. So we didn't have. All right, so we got to get into these shows. There's been a few things we've been watching, so we got to give our overall review of Gen V. So that was 6 episodes. Amazon. Spinoff of The Boys.
Very good. I wish it was longer.
I mean, I knew it was. I appreciate the small storytelling when they can actually get directly to the point and tell the story that they want to tell instead of having to like do filler.
They definitely got straight to the point.
So they didn't really have to do this. So starts out with, if you're not familiar with The Boys, you definitely watch The Boys. But this is a spinoff over the last season when there was a school that they showed where it happens, where some of the problem or more aggressive soups that our children will go to. And then this one person they picked out, Marie, was the new lead of the show, the new protagonist. Mm-hmm. And she's the soup who's a bloodbender who is going to the Godolphin University, also known as God U. She goes there with the mission of wanting to be the first black woman in the 7. And basically she gets involved in the politics of the school among the soups. And she learns that the school has a very, very dark secret in its, in the caves in their
basement or whatever.
Yeah, in the basement.
Under the school, basically.
In the dark barrows. So they basically, what they learn is that there's kids that are being held captive and they're being experimented on. Mm-hmm. They're trying to create a soup virus. So again, if you're not familiar with this universe, this is a universe where superheroes were genetically modified by compound V at birth. You kind of get, and the reason I like this too was they kind of really touched in on the important things here and there, and it wasn't like you had to watch all the other stuff. Like they kind of threw in some good exposition at the right time to explain certain things. I hate when people complain about that, where it's like, oh, I don't want to have required watching when I watch something. My nigga, like, when you read books, do you say, oh, I hate that I have to have other required reading to understand a book? Like, no, if you join a franchise, embrace the whole content path and journey. Like, if you, in most of these shows, do a pretty good job at, filling you in without making you have to go back and do old watching. Like, you can go back and watch this. So I don't think that this was even a problem with that. You can definitely just jump into this universe and just watch Gen V if you want to and still know exactly what's going on. I would recommend going back and watching all of The Boys and then kind of letting this be supplemented material. It's
not super long to go through, honestly. Like, I did it. I went from, what, is it 3 seasons of The Boys?
I think it's 4.
4. So I did it. I started watching Gen V and it was really good. So I decided to watch The Boys so I can get more context. And it wasn't like a hard, if you enjoy Gen V, you're going to enjoy The Boys. Like, it's the same producers and everything, same content. So it's not a hard watch.
one of the things I did enjoy, and so we're getting to more spoiler territory now, is like I enjoyed them being
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I enjoy being more real life consequences for being soups, more so in this than you have. Usually it was kind of like either you was a good soup or a special soup, where like I would say special as in you had powers that couldn't be managed. In this one, it kind of was like, yeah, there's some people who have that like extreme where like, oh, you got a Homelander and then you got, you know, somebody who can't even survive with their powers. But then you have a lot of people in the middle who is like, when they use their powers, they start to lose a part of their life. Like with this, they kind of broke this up where it was like, you had the Cutter for the bloodbender. You had the girl with bulimia for she gets bigger and smaller. You had the girl who was pressed over everyone, you know, knowing her accolades and, you know, having her eye bust open.
This show equated like real life mental health issues with their superheroes.
And not just even mental health, they even show
with
like
their superpowers.
Even with Polaris, like the Polaris Jr., he learned his father in the show. He learns his father is having brain issues because of using his powers.
There are real life consequences for using
which
your
would make
powers.
sense in the real world. Like this would happen. Like especially when you think about these people aren't born as soups, they're created into soups. So that means your body was born a regular Homo sapien and you're pushing it beyond what it's capable of. Like Homelander is the only one who was built in a test tube and like his body is there to withstand it. The rest of these folks ain't built like that.
No, not at all.
That's why again I really enjoyed it. You should definitely watch it. You get to see a different standpoint too, because back before you just watched, you know, the regular people with the boys, and here you kind of actually get to focus on the soups and see them as people. So it's really dope. So definitely recommend watching Gen V. Anything else you want to add to that?
I thought it was really cool that they kind of had the teenagers getting their powers like during their
adolescence.
Yes. So
well, it depends, because you remember we watched The Boys. Like it depends too. Like that's why it wasn't really consistent.
Only in Gen V.
Yeah,
that's exclusively in Gen V that I'm talking about. So like Marie, she gets her powers, her blood powers during when she gets her first period. There are a lot of superheroes that get their first powers like during like sexual experiences or going through puberty and stuff. Like I think this franchise does a better job at interweaving superpowers and stuff into like regular, like very regular life, like just teenager shit, adult shit, just like regular life, and how this would happen if it actually happened to us right now. Marvel and DC are like more like fairy tales compared to Gen V and The
really
Boys.
Grounded.
Yeah, so that's what I like the most about it.
One thing I did hate, I don't like that portion that you brought up, because they show even in the hospital in the first season, remember the baby had the superpower off top. So like it's not necessarily, doesn't have to stem from that. It's not a requirement, but and then also too with the kids, like that was another thing where they weren't super clear on kids being like, I believe they even said it, like you can't be born getting soup DNA, but then you got Polaris and what's the nigga, Translucent, his son.
You know what I think about that? I feel like it's not the best, but things fall through the holes. Like maybe they didn't think.
It's a plot hole.
Yeah, maybe they didn't think that they needed to be that airtight and that it was going to be this popular and that there were going to be a bunch of nerds nitpicking at shit and being like, no, this isn't accurate. I think that like Marvel and DC, they're going to have to go back and things are going to have to be canon and things are going to have to not be canon. And
well, I mean, all this is just, it's just at this time, it's just them doing retcons, because like the whole portion of Homelander's son, like the reason why that was such a big deal as well was because Soup's generally didn't have kids that had the powers.
Mm-hmm. But then in Gen V you have Polaris and
Translucent
Sun, and that's where the fuck did that come from? They're older.
Yeah. And they're older. Yeah, they're older than Buddy, than the kids. So it's like y'all knew this shit was possible.
How are they gonna explain that? We talked about this, and you made a very good point at saying that like Translucent and Polaris gave their children Compound V
as kids.
Yeah, after, but also in the boys aren't. Compound V is supposed to be given to you like as a infant, right?
Yeah.
As a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So that still wouldn't flesh out the best if they were giving Compound V as adolescents or as like toddlers.
Well, mine was that they was giving it babies. Like they just did the same process. They just.
But wouldn't they still Polaris and they're the same age as Homelander. So the kid would have to be the same age. How far ahead is Gen V than the boys?
It's the same time.
Same timeline. So they couldn't be that much older. It doesn't make sense. They're going to have to come up with an explanation for that.
They're probably just going to
on the fly
act like that. Because they're probably just going to make it seem like it was really just for Homelander because he was a test tube baby. That's why they didn't think that he could do that. That would be my only.
So Homelander is going to have to be the anomaly.
Yeah, he's the reason why it's
would be
weird.
The easiest way.
The only reason his kid is weird is because of him, not because of Soup's trans,
Yeah, I agree. That would be the easiest way to
He wasn't supposed to
make
have
sense.
kids because of the way he was created. All right. So speaking of Marvel, he was bringing them up a few times. We have to get into.
You can't not bring up.
True. Talk about anything superhero.
Yeah.
So we can get into Loki now.
Ooh, Loki season. Okay, I didn't watch Loki season 1. I fell asleep about 7 times trying to get through episode 1. But Loki season 2 is so good.
So we're right
and
now.
It makes me want to go watch Loki season 1. I know I'm gonna fall asleep again though. It was terrible.
When you're watching this, I might kind of put this in the Marvels up tomorrow, just the clips of it on YouTube. But where you're listening to us now, we haven't watched the Marvels movie yet. We're going to go see that tomorrow.
Yes.
And we haven't seen Loki because that doesn't come out till tomorrow. So what I want to do is just give our overview of Loki, what we've seen so far in the 5 episodes, give a prediction
Enthralled
for 6, and then we'll get into Captain Marvel and give our predictions for that, and then we'll wrap it up.
I'm captivated by this storyline.
Okay, so we're in Loki season 2. If you're not familiar, the last season ended with them learning about He Who Remains and the sacred timeline and how he's been controlled, but he is now.
I hope Jonathan Majors gets to keep this fucking role. He's doing such a good job at it, and I just want him to keep it. Continue.
That last scene from season 1 and He Who Remains. He's
so good.
He was in his actor
He be
bag.
he's a great actor. Like
fuck
fuck that white bitch.
Fair.
All right.
He was in his thespian bag for real. But no. This season, it started off with, where we basically left off. Loki is in the TVA. And he's time slipping.
Yes.
And basically what that means is that he is able to go through the timeline in a seamless fashion that doesn't create branch timelines the way that we were told in Endgame.
For some reason.
Yeah. So he just has ability to seamlessly transition through, but it also still flows through time because he ends up running into himself a few times. Mm-hmm. So it starts off.
Doesn't fuck everything up somehow still. Yeah.
So they introduce a few new characters, OB, which is the dude from the Goonies, and a few other little characters that are kind of inconsequential. Mm-hmm. But my thing was, I kind of really enjoyed seeing Jonathan Majors in this other role of Victor Timely. So after they figure out what's going on, he's good. He's just a good actor. Honestly. Yeah, and as they figured out what's going on, they basically have Renslayer come in and they basically set up the paradox where, hey, she brings him the book. This creates someone who is now a Kang variant, and then he comes in and helps save them because right now the TVA is crashing because the Loom is uncontrolled, and they need someone with the signature that is He Who Remains. So that's where they come Victor Timely. But I want to say my favorite scene was when she was kind of boasting him up, and then she talked about being his partner, and he looked at her like, "No, woman, we aren't partners." Like, that was my favorite part because I was just thinking like,
because you're a misogynist.
I was just thinking like, when you be with the chick and she be like, "Yo, let's get this money together," and you be like, "Together, ma'am, no."
Because you're a misogynist and you felt that OD.
I felt that in my fucking spirit, yo. I was like, yo, that's how you gotta do it. Not that partner
This
shit.
nigga is the worst.
But then they end up going back and like
As a woman who just wants the bills paid, I don't mind.
and then they show another scene with him and Renslayer, and he was like, I'm glad that I chose you. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to win the war. And then like the big kind of like crux is, surprise, he basically wipes everybody's mind. So that's where we're at the point where we have Victor Timely. We've sent him out to the loom to fix everything, and that failed. And then
Completely, nigga.
Loki had to
you
go
wiped
through-
everybody's mind for no reason.
Well, no, he wiped everyone's mind for his future self. Like that was for his success so that he can continue to run the TVA. But this situation is now where we're at is Loki has realized how to control the time slipping, and now he has to go back and figure out how we can get this.
Thanks to Renslayer, right? Because she was
No, that was thanks to
who
OB.
told him that he needed. Oh yeah,
It was
so
like
somebody
well,
told him he
partly
needed
is
to
OB
control it.
and part of OB was the one who told me he can control. He should be able to control it,
Mhm.
and they worked out little different things. And that's why I'm glad you said that. They had the best scene in cinema in like probably since the Vision, what is grief type scene. They did a thing. He said we need to do science. Loki says we need to do science to figure out what's going on. And you know what OB does? Actual science. He pitches him. Well, we see that it doesn't work on a physical standpoint.
Yeah, he literally went through the whole scientific method.
Oh
right
my
there.
goodness, that felt so good to see. Cause I like when you talk to goofy niggas will assume when they say science, that's some type of fucking magic. And no, nigga, science is observable facts. And so I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I needed that. It was
Fact-based
painful.
outcomes.
It's been painful, and just to see someone that intelligent joke. Mwah. Good job, OB. That's my boy. I think this is going to end with what we've been saying. OB, the Aurora Borealis, is going to wrap around, and what we're going to see is either one or two things. We're either going to see that this becomes inconsequential, and it just goes back. They don't show us the multiversal war, or we're going to be at that point where the multiversal world is going to happen, and we're kind of looking at right before the verge of that. And then that'll be Kang Dynasty and things of that nature. My prediction, though, is going to be we're going to lead up, and the last thing we're going to see is what leads into the multiversal war from Kang's, this particular Kang's view. What are you seeing so far? What do you think?
Well, I don't know if I can like give you an accurate like what I think is going to happen since I didn't.
Mine isn't accurate. It's just a prediction.
I don't know because I didn't watch the first season, and I loosely watched the second season with you.
The first season is just that point of them meeting He Who Remains. Like that's just him leading to them to that point.
Let me tell you what I hope loosely based off what I've watched. So what I hope will happen next season. I feel like in the beginning of the next season, it's gonna be Loki like being on a mission, like him trying to.
Well, I don't know if there's more seasons after this, but
oh really?
Mm-hmm. This might be the last one.
Oh,
that's why I'm saying. That's why I wanted your prediction. What do you think is gonna happen? And
well,
you say
maybe him trying to figure out an exact plan for how he's gonna time slip to make an actual difference. Right, and like fix things.
And that's kind of been what's in the trailer because they have him where it looks like he's going back multiple times to try different things and get more information. So it might be on something.
So
like
just
that.
intentionally time slipping to make small changes that maybe make a difference. And then maybe in the first couple episodes, like he makes small changes. We see like, maybe the first episode only. He makes a couple small changes and we see what difference that makes. And he has to keep like editing. Like that would be fun to see. And that's just like the first episode.
That sounds like what will potentially happen in like say the first episode and then everything wrapping back around. And then also that's what it looks like from the trailer too, where it's like it's going to be like him going there because he has a line where he says like, I don't know what it is, but I'm a god and you're a scientist and we'll figure it out. Like we'll be able to do this multiple times.
It's basically what he's a god. Like
that doesn't mean anything in this standpoint.
But who else has the power to avoid what's happening to time like he does.
Well, that's what I said. We don't know if this is a reason that he's doing this because he's Asgardian, which I highly doubt, or because He Who Remain has.
That was also my question. Like, what are?
Well, he's a ice giant anyway, frost giant.
What are other universes experiencing?
No, that's where
when it comes to this specifically,
so
when it comes to time, because if you think that like on Earth, time is a social construct, right? Then it wouldn't really affect the multiverse at all.
So what you didn't see in the first season, this is where it kind of gets kind of time wobbly and all that other stuff.
Yeah, explain
in
it
the
to me.
first season, what's happening is they're on what's called a sacred timeline. So this timeline doesn't necessarily mean it's one particular group of events, but it's a rope of events.
They made time a social construct.
They make it a social construct.
No, but that's what I'm thinking of it as, right? Like things have to happen in a specific way. A construct.
They have constructed what they feel like time needs to flow as.
Okay,
because
so they made time make sense like humans did.
Well, time was supposed to do is they took out all of the different variants that didn't lead to He Who Remains. That's where the crux of it is. That's
kind of fucked.
Yeah, they basically everything, like if you did something.
So that's Renslayer's deal, right?
Not really. She's on his team. She wants to work with the.
I thought Renslayer's thing was like there shouldn't be a sacred timeline.
No, that's the other Loki, Sophie, or I think that's her name. Yeah, that's the other Loki. She wasn't.
Let me switch.
She doesn't want any rules.
Let me switch I want her to be like, nah, fuck that. This is staying. Like whoever thinks that there should be no sacred timeline. Sophie.
Okay, yeah. So the other Loki.
I want Sophie
make sure we
to be a main character in the next season if that's the case.
Well,
I want her to
be.
Season.
She is a main character.
So there. What do you mean? So there's definitely not. It's not continuing.
They have said nothing about a third season.
Oh.
That's why I keep trying to tell you. Like I'm trying to put you in the context of this is the last part.
Well, I would like for if there were a next season for a version of Loki to be trying to restore the sacred timeline and Sophie being like, fuck out of here.
That's what this season was.
Oh, it was?
That's what this season was about.
So who is Sophie?
That's the white woman.
That I think is Renslayer?
Yes. No, Renslayer is the black girl. The person who you said,
the blonde girl.
Yes, the blonde girl is the person.
Okay, that's who I'm calling Renslayer this whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay.
She wants the...
My bad, guys. I'm fucked up. I told you I loosely watched this shit. But okay, but she joined forces with him in the end.
Now, because that she understood that if she lets things go about it, remember when she was in the music station and everything turned into spaghetti? She was learning. Sylvie is her name, not Sophie. Sylvie.
Okay.
So Sylvie will realize that without the structure of the TVA, the timeline is just going to turn into spaghetti regardless.
Well, I feel like she should understand that your timeline exists because the specific structure is in place. If there is no structure, then there is a possibility of your timeline not being a thing.
Well, in her mind,
you need to be okay with that.
In her mind, the structure says she shouldn't exist for simply existing. Like that, her thing was the fact that she was a girl. She was going to do good as a Loki rather than bad. Was why they.
Oh, I did not know she was a Loki.
Yeah, she's a Loki. She's a Loki variant.
That's why she has powers too.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Fuck! Why didn't I question why she has magic?
She was a white woman. You weren't invested.
I don't be invested in the white women, honestly. I'm sorry.
But no,
that's why I thought her name was Renslayer the whole time, because that was a black woman.
But yeah, so Renslayer wants the sacred timeline to maintain. The only person who doesn't want the sacred timeline.
She's on
that's the black girl.
Yeah, what's
the
Miss Minute? She's on Miss Minute's side.
Well, yeah. She was working with Miss Minutes. But no, that's where we're at with this. Like I said, that's why I think
Miss Minutes is a shady little bitch, isn't she?
Oh yeah. She was choosing on He Who Remains or Victor Timely. I liked it. That was another thing too I want to talk about. I enjoyed his Frederick Douglass, Nikola Tesla performance where he kind of like merged the two.
that persona.
Also, it was very Dr. Sebi-ish, with them being like a scammer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
it was a lot of like pioneering men, regardless of whether they were accurate or not.
I enjoy
meshed together.
I enjoy the view of taking folks who in history class we learned about being these great people and really showing them for the clowns and the real actual people they were, like the flawed human beings they actually are.
Yeah,
I always enjoyed that. A lot of them were flawed human beings. Like
all of them were flawed human beings, but a lot of them were straight up clowns.
Severely flawed. And like it's just so funny to see that, because it's like now that we don't actually see them as people and we weren't there on their day-to-days, we couldn't see the goofy shit that they would do. But it's like, no, these niggas was really goofy, trying to get over on niggas, trying to set niggas up, and then history, looked at them with more flattery than maybe they should have been given. Like, I always think about the book that kind of revolutionized me. That's been one of the things that's been going around, like what radicalized you. And it was like the book that's called like Stuff My Teacher Didn't Teach Me, or what, I can't remember the name of it.
What radicalized me was traditional African religion in my junior year of college.
See, now I was in high school and okay, yeah, that's the name of the book. Lies My Teacher Never Told Me. Or Lies My Teacher Told Me. That's what it's called. So yeah, Lies My Teacher Told Me was a book that was put into my life when I was in AP history in high school. And that was the book that we had to read like during the summer and stuff. And that's what kind of opened
read that.
my eyes.
I took AP history.
Well, see, my teacher didn't do it. He didn't teach AP the conventional way.
I took AP US history, I think.
Like
I took AP US history and composition.
I was fortunate with a lot of different decisions and things. Like my teacher, what he did was like, he was like, I'm actually going to use this class to teach y'all history. And then before the AP test comes in, like, y'all should all be smart enough to know how to take a test.
Now he got to choose his own curriculum.
No, he didn't choose it. He disregarded the curriculum.
Okay, so my teachers didn't disregard the curriculum.
Yeah, he still told us how to do certain things, and he did the test so that it would fall under the curriculum, but it wasn't like we weren't.
College was when
a lot of times at AP, especially during my time, they just coached you for the test at the end of the year. And he didn't do that. He was like, no, I'm really going to teach y'all history.
That's what my teacher
that should help you take the test, because y'all should, if this is for you, you'll be successful at it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was why I appreciated him and what everything I got to learn. Like, I learned about so many different presidents who were like on that bullshit and racist, and it just allowed me to, anytime I explored something, was to always go back and look at the history of it and look at the takes of people from that time.
Professor X at UAlbany was that professor for me.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm glad I got it early though.
She was that nigga. You could tell she was that nigga because her name was Professor X. Period. Shout out to you.
Speaking of Professor X, let's get into this next conversation.
Oh my God, there's more.
Yeah, the Marvels. We gotta talk about the Marvels. Our prediction.
We didn't see it yet. I have no predictions. I have no idea what's going on in this shit. It's girl power, bitch. I want them to fuck.
That's a prediction.
Niggas up. I want them to rip dicks off and beat men with the dicks that they ripped off the other men.
All right, so if y'all not familiar, there's basically this is Captain Marvel 2, but because Captain Marvel has a bad taste in people's mouths, they changed the name around to the Marvels. They're gonna have Miss Marvel, and also what is her name? Maria Rambeau. I believe that's her name, Maria.
I don't know. I thought it was like Ironheart or some shit.
No, that was in the whatchamacallit movie, Black Panther movie.
Okay.
This person she's gonna be Monica Rambeau. She played in the comic books. Her character was actually Captain America.
So it's
not Captain America, excuse me, Captain Marvel.
Okay,
sound crazy.
It's three of them.
And Spectrum. Mm-hmm.
So who? Captain Marvel, in Spectrum, and who?
Miss Marvel.
Okay. So what are each of their powers?
So in the comic books, it's a little different. Captain Marvel has like
is anybody
super
black?
Strength.
Start with the blacks.
Well, yeah, Monica Rambeau.
Okay.
Monica Rambeau's black. Like I said, her first character was initially the first.
Put her picture.
She was the first Captain
Black
Captain
woman.
Marvel. Like in the comic books, that was one of her names. But she was always shafted. So there's a lot of stories of her name.
Not the black woman shafted.
Yeah, she would actually give her name to other white characters, or like she would change her name, or she would be the Spectrum. Like I said, she was Captain Marvel, and she would always have her name changed. And she would actually be the leader. She used to be a leader of the Avengers. Like she was legit in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had a really interesting backstory.
Okay, so I'm excited to see what this new phase is going into.
Her powers kind of stem from WandaVision and her having experiencing that with Wanda and the Hex. So she ended up having
that's the black girl from
Photon.
WandaVision.
That's another name she went by too. Spectrum, Photon, that was another name. Yep.
Okay, cuz Disney Plus has not done a good job at keeping my attention. I haven't watched WandaVision
Baby,
either.
let's be honest with you, nothing keeps your attention that much. TikTok is the only thing that does it.
Things keep my attention
TikTok.
all the time.
If it's made in China.
I've watched full like series. There's not a lot of shit that keeps if it has to do with supernatural superpowers and shit like that, it'll keep my attention. But other than that,
I mean, WandaVision should have been up your alley then. That was like all that was
it
about.
started way too slow.
I mean, I always recommend people start at episode 4 when they watch.
Yeah, I'm not getting to episode 4. I'm falling asleep before then several times.
Well, I mean, I always was able. I felt like whatchamacallit was appealing.
I feel like a show like Game of Thrones. After episode 2, it picked up, so I was able to get to that. There's mad shit that I've been able to get through after the first episode or the second episode was okay. But if I have to watch 3+ episodes to get the foundation and be interested, you're not getting me. And that has nothing to do with my lack of attention, honestly. That has to do with your lack of being able to write shit.
All right, so then we got Miss Marvel. So she's the Pakistani superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Her powers are different from the comics. In the comics, she has the power to what's called embiggen. And what that basically looks like is her stretching, kind of a la to Mr. Fantastic. And the rumor is the reason why they've changed her powers to more of a light base, a la Green Lantern looking power, is so that it doesn't clash with Mr. Fantastic. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because her power is a little bit
fuck
different. Because no, his is stretching. Hers is more like it's not proportionally getting bigger. Like it's a different, even from Ant-Man, like him and getting big and smaller. Like hers is different, and she can actually change what she looks like. Like one of the things she used to do is look like the old white. So
it's more morphing.
Yeah, more like morphing. Yeah, like more like body modification.
Okay.
But now in the comic books,
that's doper.
She's an X-Men, and she's a mutant now, and they also have kind of started with that. And actually, in the comic books, the person who created her wanted her to be an X-Men.
Have they introduced like any new X-Men movies? Or
so
this is
all
the
they've
first?
had, they haven't no X-Men movie. They have had X-Men characters in
pop up.
Yeah, in Multiverse of Madness was the biggest one. There's a little one in
They
Black
need to
Widow.
do something soon. If they've been like popping things in there, then
they're coming. It's like
it has to be coming.
The strike has affected a lot of their announcements and things of that nature. So
I really want them to just give these people their fucking money. Goddamn, give these people their money. They are integral, obviously, to what is going on. Shit is so boring. There's nothing to watch. Please pay these people. We are bored and we are desperate.
No,
it's not fun.
What's really going to be interesting, though, what's coming up when they actually do have it, will be who they're going to lead this next little X-Men with. Because I think in this movie, there's been like a secret cameo supposed to be happening. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I think it's going to be the Captain Marvel from Multiverse of Madness, which was her mom, was Monica Rambeau's mom. And in WandaVision, her mom dies, and she dies of cancer before she gets the opportunity. I think this is what they're going to use her mom to come in, and now you got 4 Captain Marvels. I think that's going to happen in like the middle of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen a little bit of the end credit scene, so I think that's going to be kind of interesting. They said there's 2. My basic prediction is the movie is not going to be accepted by a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to hate, but I think that with some of the changes they made, this is probably going to be one of the more integral parts to what leads up to the Kang Dynasty and stuff.
I hope it is.
I think it's going to have like more to do with like the universes bleeding into each other, the incursions. I think like that is going to be a big byproduct of this movie, because I think if you wanted to make it important and make it people care, you got to make it like canon to the bigger story.
Yeah.
All right, so did you have anything you want to add?
No, let's wrap it up.
All right, we're going to wrap it
2
up.
2 hours now, baby.
Yeah, we are. But the people want us. They love us. They need us. All right, this is Talk FNF TV. Yeah, we get the fucking people going.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of the things. We appreciate all of your engagement, likes, comments, subscribe.
Comment, you cowards.
And we'll be back next week, niggas. Love you. Bye. Also, tax season coming up. You need to get your taxes done at graffititax.com, period.
That ad is at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, yeah. Now it's at the end, too. Get your taxes done. Get your shit together financially as a black.